Bump.
That was quite the song, Tim.
I try.
Audio leveling. Oh yeah, we good.
Alright. So was everything captured when we first started?
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Hard Reset, a Cold North production. This is number 136, take 2. I am your host, Patrick the Law Morris. Joining me this week, we have the notorious Nathan Crumrine.
Well, hello there, everyone.
And the newly reattached penis, Tim Miller.
I'm sad my penis rant is gone. How could you do this?
Well, yeah, for everyone who's unaware, which is everyone besides the three of us, we had some audio difficulties. We had some technical difficulties causing us to have to restart the podcast. The first time, Tim ranted about how his penis hurt so bad from coming after the direct that he had to cut it off. So coming up on Hard Reset, Tim will be coming about the direct. Get it? I said coming
up on Hard.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
That was a bit hard to follow.
Oh, you know, it's I like to just start soft and lead into it. So anyways, but before we get to all that, I want to know what you guys have been playing this week. Tim, tell me what you've been playing.
All right, so I've been playing more Tales of Arise. I like it a lot. I guess I've gotten what you would call the first act of the game. And the only reason I know it's the first act is over is because once the final cutscene plays, a new anime cutscene played with music in the background, and now that's my starting opening screen. So I'm assuming I'm in Act 2 now.
Season 2 of Tales of Arise.
Yep. But yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. I still got to reiterate from last week that I don't think I'm getting enough money in the game.
Yeah.
That's been a hard to come by resource. And
economy is broken.
I don't think it's per se broken. I really wish that I could get more money because everything seems to be more expensive for your standard things than in previous Tales games, and I just feel like you're not getting enough money now to deal with that.
Okay, so question for you. Do you feel like maybe this is an attempt to encourage the grind to engage players in the game more?
It's very potential. I just want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not a fan of a grind myself, but...
Yeah. It also might be partially the difficulty I'm playing on. I'm playing on the moderate difficulty instead of the story or the easy difficulty. So that might have something to do with it. They might have adjustments in that. I have not looked into it enough, but I can just say for moderate, I don't feel like I have enough money to buy items that I need at certain times.
Interesting.
Okay. Other than that, though, the game's great and I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it more.
Nice. Well, that's, I mean, and it's good that it's continuing to engage you. So it's definitely sounds, I would say that that's a ringing endorsement. Okay, Nathan, talk to us about something that's not Oblivion, not Skyrim, and not Elder Scrolls Online.
Can it be Oblivion 2?
It cannot be Oblivion 2 or Daggerfall.
Okay.
Can it be DLC?
It cannot be DLC. If you want to talk to us about Arena, feel free. Also, okay. I didn't mention
You've
Morrowind.
hurt this man.
Oh, dude, Morrowind's great.
Okay, for real though, don't talk to us about Morrowind right now. I saw you gearing up for that, and then you made me regret saying it very quickly. Morrowind. Let me talk to you about the elves.
All right. So, not long after the podcast last week, I actually broke down and got Deathloop. Right after saying that I was going to wait for it.
Literally right after.
Yeah, my friends convinced me to get it because the multiplayer aspect just seemed way too much fun, and like all the friends that we have that are playing it right now are just some of the most fun people to like face in PvP on one-on-ones. Like for example, Ethan. I remember one time we were like playing COD 4 and just doing 1v1s versus each other, and it was the most intense, like I don't know, intense, fun 1v1s ever. And so got it partially for that, and also because Ethan was saying like, yo, you can get it on Steam and return it after a week if you play less than 2 hours, and then you'll see how it is. And one of my biggest concerns was, will my gaming laptop run it? And it did, and it was good, and I just kind of ended up playing past the 2-hour mark. So I was like, cool, I'm in this now, but I don't regret it. It's been a ton of fun.
So okay, so first of all, Ethan always gives me shit for talking people into buying stuff, and
he does it just as much as you do, if not more, I'd say.
yes,
sometimes
he is
Really?
gonna hear from me about this.
I think you tend to talk people into much higher,
Larger
higher
purchases.
valued items. Yeah, but he might be like on games and stuff. I don't know. It's he doesn't break my bank. When I think about why my bank account is so low, I usually think about you.
That's not my fault. That's your fault. You're the one
mean-
buying it.
You're falling for your tricks, sir.
I mean, he did talk you into buying Forewarned earlier today, too.
Yeah.
Fool me twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Shame on you.
You know, okay, but funny story. Ethan is like the easiest person to talk into buying shit. You're just like, hey, Ethan, you want to go to Taco Bell? And he's like, I shouldn't be spending money. And you're like, yeah, but it's Taco Bell. And he's like, you make a good point.
Yep.
And it's like, he's just so easy. So, you know who the most difficult person is Tim.
Yep.
You tell
I believe
Tim,
that.
hey, you should buy this. And he's like, no. And then he moves on with his life.
I
Yep.
believe that.
So, tell us what
I'm
you
still in debt somehow.
God. So you actually do it to yourself because you're saying no to me.
100%.
So, okay, Nathan, tell us why you like Deathloop so much.
So, the big thing to me is the gameplay just feels really, really fun and solid. It's very, very together, and the mechanics are just a lot of fun to play with. But I think more than anything, the fun thing about it is like the creativity that they give you for builds, and just the different like you can take it really stealthy, where you have like an invisible power that makes you invisible, and different perks you can attach to that. And then you have different weapons, like you can go with a sniper rifle that has different modifiers and stuff, and then other, I don't know, like each weapon has different what they call trinkets that allow you to customize your gameplay pretty much every time you play. And there's only 4 areas, but each area changes based on what time of day you're playing in. And so only certain things are accessible during certain places. So it's really nice because you get to know the areas really well and point out where the differences are. And it allows you to make builds in between each segment of the day and area for what you know that you're going to be facing. And so it does a really good job of helping you be aware of the challenges ahead and allowing you to prepare for them in really interesting, creative ways. One of my favorite builds so far is a build where I have it set so that I take less damage when I'm close to people, and I gain health when I kill people with melee.
So you
and then
rush.
on top of that, I just take way less damage than normal because of another perk as well. So I literally just teleport towards people,
blitz.
melee them with a machete, and just do that over and over again. And like, you feel pretty fragile at first, and really, like, not just at first, but throughout the whole game, you feel pretty fragile in general. But with this build, I literally can just do that nonstop. And I did for like 20 minutes, was just killing people loud, like for fun.
Nathan the
You
Bulldozer.
don't have, yeah, you don't have that opportunity in the game really. Like I feel like I had some glitch where people just kept spawning over and over again. Because a lot of other times you can pretty much just clear the map of enemies and explore it as you want, and find different secrets and things to come back for later in other points of the day. But yeah, man, I was just going rampaging. It was so much fun. So yeah, if anyone is even slightly interested in it, and you have someone who's also interested in it, I recommend it. I think it's a great fucking game.
Nice. Very cool. I was like kind of tempted in the same way that you were, but then I watched Donkey's video, and just visually, I cannot get over how not good that game looks, because I don't think it looks bad. I just think that, like, judging by the fact that it's a PS5, like it's exclusive to PS5 and PC.
And PC,
yeah. Well, when I say exclusive, I mean like not on PS4. It's like it should look better than it does. And so I was kind of feeling that same temptation, but then I watched Stunky's video and that kind of cleansed that. But what the game I have been playing this week is actually currently embargoed, so we are just going to move straight on to the
embargoed.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean that I signed an agreement saying I will not talk about it until this date, and the date is not here yet.
That's so cool.
I can't talk about
You're
it.
the coolest person in the podcast.
That's not true. That is definitely Tim. Tim is way cooler in any situation than either of us. But
Tim, how many games have you not been able to talk about because of an embargo?
Yes.
37. I can't talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. It's an embargo.
I am so fucking lame.
At least he's finally admitting it.
If you can say how many number of games you are not able to talk about because of an embargo, the only possible answer to that is either I can't say because it's embargoed, or 0. And sounds like Tim and our answer is I can't talk about that, and Nathan's answer is a big fat 0.
Why can't I just be cool?
Well, go talk to Tawny.
You're just
She'll tell
born
you
with
you're
it.
Cool.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
There you go. Fuck, Tim. Okay.
That's incredible. That was so cool.
Moving on
How
to
do you do it?
We're not going to get better than that. So let's go to the topic of the show. All right, topic of the show. Nintendo Direct happened earlier today. There were a lot of announcements. We're not going to talk about all of them. All of them are in the doc, Nathan, and if you have that in front of you, they're all in the doc just because I had to write them all down so I could pick from the ones that were my favorites. But yeah, I mean, we can just sort of go round robin for a couple rounds and talk about these were the big ones for us. So Nathan, why don't you kick us off? What was something that really jumped out at you as like one of your favorites, or maybe one of the most interesting, even if you didn't particularly like it?
Yeah. So I just really ran down the list very briefly. I think the two cool things to me, first off, because there's probably less to say about it, Dying Light 2 coming to the Switch?
Cloud version.
Dying Light coming to the Switch? Oh, okay. So it's going to be like streamed, essentially?
Dying Light 2 is. Dying Light 1 is coming to the Switch.
Interesting. See,
natively.
I think that's interesting because I recently had gotten Saints Row the Third on Switch, just as like a purchase to, I don't know, mess around like in a sandbox whenever I want on a Switch before I go to bed. And like that game glitches out, like its frame rate isn't great. And so I look at Dying Light 2, a game that's like it's kind of a beautiful game, honestly. And
Dying Light 1, you mean?
like there's a lot going on. Yeah, Dying Light 1. And so to see that on Switch, like I just don't see that performing well. Saints Row the Third came out well before.
Well, I
Dying
mean,
Light. So
but also Switcher, like Witcher 3 runs on Switch and it runs okay.
Really? Yeah, I don't know, man. So I thought that was strange, and I also thought Dying Light in general coming to Switch, it's so interesting whenever you see a game that's like really gory, really like kind of rough setting in terms of
just rough around the edges, more mature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a rated M game coming to Switch just kind of feels weird every time. So I thought that was kind of strange. But you know, I love Dying Light, so I guess I won't be. I don't know. I won't be getting it on Switch, but I thought it was interesting. Anyway, after that, Genesis games, yo.
Well, okay, we're gonna go round robin, so hang on to Genesis games. Okay. But so Tim and I were actually talking before we started recording. Tim and I are both pretty hyped on Kirby, but I was making the argument to Tim that I think Dying Light on Switch is actually a bigger deal than this new Kirby game because Nintendo, like the Switch is so saturated with these first-party Nintendo games, and for people like us, that's fine. Because like, what do we do in our spare time? We are on a video game podcast. But people who are much more casual and like the Switch is the only console they own, and they really want to play Mario Kart and they want to play Zelda and they want to play Metroid, but well, they probably don't want to play Metroid. Casuals don't really want to play Metroid. But they want to play these first party Nintendo games, but they also want to play like third party titles. I think the fact that like Dying Light is kind of continuing to carry that flag, I think that that's a significant thing. I think that's a big deal for the Switch, and I think that that's going to end up being a really good thing. And like net positive is going to be a bigger thing than Kirby. And like, obviously we're not looking just to specifically compare to Kirby, but that's what Tim and I were talking about because we are both hyped for Kirby. So
yeah, Kirby does look good. I'm excited for Dying Light, but I've played the first one already. I don't really have a reason to buy it again on Switch where it possibly won't perform as well, like Nathan was saying.
Exactly.
And with 2 coming as a cloud game, I don't know if you guys played the Control cloud version at all on Switch.
No, that was a hard pass.
It still struggled a little bit, even like though it was like streaming to your console. And as much as I hate to say it, I think that Dying Light 2 is going to suffer from similar issues.
Oh yeah, I feel very confident that Dying Light 2 is going to suffer. That's going to be like without a doubt the worst version of that game. And I think that we all agree that like we're not going to buy Dying Light on Switch, but I think that like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're all excited about like, even though we're not going to buy it, we're excited about what it means for the Switch moving forward. It's continuing to keep that idea of like, this is a like first party Nintendo handheld machine that also occasionally gets ports. And even though those ports of third party, like more mature games are happening more and more infrequently as we move further and further into like higher power hardware, it's good to see this kind of continuing with Dying Light.
Yep, it's great. The only other knock I have against it is you're going to have to be connected to Wi-Fi because it's the cloud version. You're not going to be able to take it on the go.
Dying Light 2,
so,
yeah.
Yes. The original, yes, you'll be able to play on the go. But Dying Light 2, no.
Yeah, and that's kind of something like considering the Switch is like the nature of the Switch being like so much on the go. I don't get how they're trying to advertise these cloud versions of games. It's like this. Hey, here's your console for going like on the go. And by the way, this game mandates an internet connection, so it's going to tether you to your house. Sorry, it's like okay,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, as someone who traveled a decent amount before COVID, the only times where there wasn't an internet connection available to me in some way or another was pretty much only if I was on a drive, which to a lot of people, like, you get motion sickness, you don't necessarily want to play in the car anyway. But I mean, planes, dude, you got Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's true.
Someone at a friend's house, Wi-Fi. Family member's house, Wi-Fi. Like, your own house too, Wi-Fi. Like, there's not.
I don't have
It's
Wi-Fi
not really
at home.
in a lot of other. Shut up.
What about the
In a
beach?
lot of other places, like you tend to have some option for an internet connection. Like, even like if you go to a bar and play your Switch, like there's usually public Wi-Fi at places like that, and so I don't know. I think it makes sense, but the thing is, like, those internet connections are probably not the best. But anyway, all in all, like, I think that we were talking about last week, like, they if they take the OLED version of the Switch and just drop the OLED, and every Switch subsequently from here does the same thing, and they just keep upping the performance and the quality of it, then anytime that they bring on, I agree, anytime that they bring on like another third party title that's tends to be more mature or fitting other demographics is probably a positive thing for them, because it's just widening what they offer.
Exactly. And like they've got a pretty good audience, and that audience, like, it's just added value for the Switch, I think. So, all right, Tim, jump in, give us one of your first ones. If you want to swing for the fences and give us a big one, do so. If you want to lay off a little bit, you're more than welcome.
I want to say the one we just already mentioned. I want to talk about Kirby a little bit, because this is Kirby's first foray into what looks like a proper 3D platformer. This is exciting. I other than that, I don't know what to say. Like, it looked great. You get your standard Kirby power-ups. We saw Spike, we saw Sword, we saw Fire, we saw Ice. Like, there seems to be boss battles even.
It looks awesome. I was just a tiny bit hesitant. It looks like a fixed camera. Not a static camera, which is good, but like fixed in the sense that, you don't get to adjust it. And a lot of the angles looked much more akin to like Super Mario 3D World rather than Super Mario Odyssey. And you're right, like, it's Kirby's first 3D game. I would really love to have that like Super Mario Odyssey type camera for Kirby's first adventure in 3D. And that was my only complaint.
That's fair. I mean, I love the Mario 3D games, so I think the camera doesn't really bother me as much. I gotta say, I do like the setting though. The dystopian future kind of lost civilization setting looks really good.
It makes me wonder, like, how is Kirby gonna, like, what is Kirby gonna interact with in that world? How is Kirby gonna interact in that world? And like, are we going to continue to see this just like very sweet, fun-loving puffball that we know from other games?
He's gone to the dark side, Jim.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kirby also, like, Kirby is very funny in the way that, like, in how powerful he is, and he just gets mad and just eats. And like, I don't know. We've talked about it on a very, very far back episode of this podcast, like years ago. We talked about, like, what's a franchise that you've always been interested in, but you've never actually dipped in and played. My answer was Kirby. And it's not that I've never played it. I played Dreamland. I played on the first one on Game Boy, and I loved it. And I've always like had this fascination with the character. I think Kirby is so cool. But for whatever reason, I just never play his games. So I feel bad about that. I do think that I'll probably play this one though.
I played a lot of Kirby on Game Boy, and since they added Kirby games to Nintendo Switch Online, I've actually played more of what's available, and there's always just something fun about how casual of a platformer it is, and I don't know. I'm excited about this 3D Kirby. It reminds me of I don't know. There's just so many good 3D platformers that I think about, and I just wish that there were more of. I know you've been really into Psychonauts lately.
Yeah,
Psychonauts
I
2.
loved Psychonauts too.
You know, it's kind of like the same thing. Like I kind of just wish that there were more great 3D platformers right now. But Jack and Daxter, just really cool.
This should be the heyday for the genre, considering like how incredible graphics have gotten, and it's like they haven't gotten like to absolute photorealism where like people still kind of fall into the uncanny valley, but they're getting better every day. But with like Pixar style graphics, games can render an image that looks just as good as any Pixar movie or any DreamWorks movie in real time. And so like, why do we not have Jack and Daxter? Why do we not have Sly Cooper? Why do we not have Blinks the Time Sweeper? Why do we not have Banjo-Kazooie?
We don't need that. We don't need that last one.
Banjo-Kazooie? You don't want more Banjo-Kazooie?
No, I want Blinks. You know which one I was talking about.
I know you're a big fan
we got
of
Ratchet
Blinks.
and Clank though. Ratchet and Clank though.
Yeah, and Ratchet and Clank was like, it was okay.
Great.
Oh. We got Little Big Planet and
yeah,
Adventures of Sackboy. That was a pretty fun game, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. I just look at like, you know, the days like kind of the PS2 being the heyday, and I think like, the PS5 should be the heyday for these types of games. But you know, maturity and whatnot. So my first round pick, I'm not gonna go with a giant one. I'm gonna go with a more modest announcement. Let's just go with KOTOR. Man, KOTOR, the original KOTOR from Aspyr coming to Switch. It's interesting to me that Aspyr is working on both the original version of the game and the remake at the same time. I don't really see this like getting an audience on Switch. Depending on the price, I may or may not buy it and try and replay it, but I don't know. How do you guys feel about KOTOR on the Switch? Does that rev your engines? Is that part of what made you come, Tim? Tell us how you feel about KOTOR.
Honestly, this was during my downtime. It didn't really get a reaction out of me again, like most of the other stuff.
You were in between ejaculates.
Exactly. This one was meh for me. I honestly believe that KOTOR should be played on PC above all else, just because the controls just feel better. I've never enjoyed playing it on a console. That being said, anyone who has not experienced the game and wants to, the Switch is probably a really good place to do that. If it's for a modest price, like $9.99 at most, is what I would pay for the original of this game at this point.
Yeah. Nathan, you raised your hand, so I'm assuming that you had something to say.
Oh, no, I was saying I'm one of those people where honestly KOTOR on the Switch sounds like the perfect platform for me to actually play it. I'm not going to play that on PC.
Okay, interesting. Tell us why.
So, I mean, I tend to be better at going through like single player things on Switch because it's just something I can load up the chapter when I'm about to go to bed. I go reach a stopping point and I stop, or I just get wrapped in it and end up playing until 4 a.m. Who knows? But that kind of game where it's that kind of game where like where you have like the time to like stop and think about things because of the combat and everything. and you can explore different stuff. I don't know. It just seems like that would be the perfect kind of Switch game for me. But computer, like, I generally don't touch gaming on my computer unless it's multiplayer games or yeah, no, that's usually it. If it's multiplayer games. Otherwise, if it's single player stuff, I'll go to my Xbox or my Switch.
Interesting.
Yep.
Fair enough. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I think that if KOTOR launches for $10, I'll probably buy it. If it launches for 20, I will wait for it to be on sale. All right, Nathan, it is your turn again. You know what? I think that there are at least 3 heavy hitters. So why don't we each pick out a heavy hitter from the direct and really dissect?
All right. Well, I was a Sega Genesis kid, so I'm gonna pick that one.
All right. So let's talk about all of the Nintendo Switch Online and expansion pack stuff. If we're going into Genesis, let's talk about it all. I'm not excited about the Genesis stuff in particular. Like, that's the least exciting thing. But tell me how you're feeling about it, Nathan.
So in complete transparency, I haven't actually watched the direct. I've just seen these notes. So in some ways, I'm going to be the guy that is kind of the live reaction to some of the things that you're saying as you give more details to it. But Sega Genesis stuff coming to Switch Online, I think that's awesome because it's just like there are so many cool games that were on Genesis that maybe I've got a choice few that I'm hoping make it eventually, maybe not right away, but eventually. Streets of Rage is awesome. I'm stoked about that. Sonic games, obviously, that's going to be cool. I'm hoping for Mega Bomberman and Vector Man games personally to get to Switch Online eventually. But Echo the Dolphin, bro, why do people like that game? I don't get it. It's a horrible game.
So confirmed for does my trash sync? I believe it does. Give me 1 second because I'm actually gonna I think I took a screenshot of the games that are confirmed. And so we have Sonic 2, which I felt like that was like, I don't know. I felt like Sonic 2 was an interesting idea, but you know, I wonder why it wasn't Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, I kind of have that same feeling as Sonic 3 and Knuckles is kind of the definitive one of the original 3.
That was my understanding.
A lot of people might disagree with me, but yeah, I would have preferred to see Sonic 3 and Knuckles just because there's just the levels are better. There's more power-ups. Like it was Sonic at his best it was Sonic at his best on the Genesis.
Yeah. Okay, so Castlevania Bloodline. So these are the confirmed titles. Nathan, feel free to jump in with any thoughts on any of these games. Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcore, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Is that what that game is called, Tim?
Yep, that's Puyo Puyo Tetris, essentially.
Oh, okay. Echo the Dolphin, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, Strider, Streets of Rage 2, not Streets of Rage 1, because I have actually never played Streets of Rage 1, but from what I understand, it is like a Tekken 2 to Tekken 3 level jump in quality.
Yep.
So that's exciting that they went straight to Streets of Rage 2. Sonic 2, Shinobi 3.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Shining Force, Rystar, which I actually played Rystar when I was a kid, and I never even owned a Genesis, and I played Rystar when I was a kid, and that game is so dumb, but I'm like pretty like irrationally excited to play it again. There's no good reason to want to play Rystar again, but here we are. And then also Phantasy Star 4.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
And then
the only other title that I'm stoked about is Golden Axe.
Oh,
Golden
really?
Axe is going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
gonna be
Golden
fun.
Axe
Yeah.
has always been great, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it'll come with online too, so we can actually play with other people like we could with Kirby on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that's
So
you know what, you're probably right about that.
Yeah,
Most
so that'd be
likely.
pretty fun.
They didn't mention it specifically for any Genesis titles. They did mention it for the N64 titles that are going to be launching.
Right. So, I mean, so perfect segue, Tim. Let's talk about those N64 titles.
A pretty good lineup to start.
Honestly,
I mean,
like
you've
the
got
bangers. They did not fuck up the way they did with the Super Nintendo.
I 100% agree. You've got Mario 64. You've got Ocarina of Time. You've got Star Fox 64. You've got Mario Kart, Yoshi Story, Mario Tennis. I'm blanking on the rest of them.
Majora's? Is it Majora's?
Majora's
Majora's
on the
is
way.
coming. Yep, they have Majora's planned. They have F-Zero planned.
Yeah.
They have Banjo-Kazooie even planned.
Pokemon Snap, Paper
Pokemon Snap's
Mario.
planned. Yep.
Like these are all games that will either be available on day one or they have confirmed these will be available at a later date.
Nice. Wow. I'm finally going to be able to play like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask not on an emulator. And
Man.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Well, technically still an emulator.
True,
Well,
but
yeah, but it's like it's
Yeah,
on,
I know
on
what you mean.
OG
I know what you
on
Nintendo
Nintendo
platform.
hardware, you'll be
Yeah.
able to play it.
In handheld,
But-
dude.
But
Fuck yeah.
it's gonna come with a price, Nathan. I hate
Yeah.
to tell you this,
What is
but
it?
they
Tell
are
me.
coming out as part of the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, which seems to be a new tier.
Yeah,
Of
it's
their
a
paid
new
online
tier of
service.
membership, and it's going to cost more. They haven't told us how much more.
They haven't said how much yet.
They have not.
It'll be available in October, I think.
I thought they said
That's only a
November,
few days
but
away.
or like late October, early November, something like that.
That is very, very possible. Let's see. Just gonna skim the notes real quick. They said coming in late October, and they
Okay.
also said that they would have more details like pricing and an exact availability date in October. They also confirmed that you will be able to upgrade an existing membership, which
Yep.
I am so glad about because I just renewed my my Nintendo Switch Online membership. And
Yep.
when I say I mean I renewed mine, I renewed Jillian's, I renewed Nathan's, I renewed Tawny's, I renewed Zach's and Catherine's and Paige's, and
Because you're all in the family.
we're all on the same one, and we just did it. And now we're going to have to upgrade to the new one. So
Yeah, I'm super
I-
happy that we can just upgrade because I think I bought mine like 3 months ago for my normal subscription, and I didn't want to have to pay another $35, $50, whatever it's gonna be,
And I would have.
just to get it. Oh, so would I. I wouldn't have been happy about it, but I
wouldn't-
would have done it.
Right. But I'm happy to be able to just pay an upgrade fee.
Yep.
So
Nathan, were you gonna say something?
Just that's interesting. I wonder how it would work on like the family deal. If it's gonna be one bundle the same way, or if it's gonna be something else.
yeah,
Or
okay.
if,
So
like,
I
you
guess
individually could add it on or what.
knowing that the expansion pack is really just adding N64 games and Genesis games, how much do we feel this is going to increase the price for the individual plan and for the family plan?
I think it's gonna be a $15 increase all around. I think you're gonna bump Nintendo Switch Online up to 35, maybe 40, and then
For the
same
individual?
with for the individual,
And
and
then,
then
like,
probably
50.
around 50 for the family plan.
See, I feel like I see it going to 50 for the family plan, but I don't see it going past 30 for the individual. Because I think that so I think long term they're going to do this again. And I think long term it's going to be they're adding the expansion pack is N64 and Genesis, and then expansion pack 2 is going to be GameCube and GBA,
Game Boy Advance, all that fun stuff.
Right. And so like that'll be expansion pack 2, and I think that that's where you start to see the upwards of like $40 or $45 for a year for an individual.
Yeah.
So I think that the family plan is going to go up by 15. I think the individual is going to go up by 10 because they don't want to price themselves out when they add GameCube and GBA to it.
I think that makes sense. It's kind of weird to think that are they separate so people could choose either the Genesis or like the GameCube, you think, or something like that, where it's like
no. So at least
it looks like it's an
at
all-in-one
least the way
bundle
it's set up
kind of
now.
thing.
It's like in order to get expansion pack, you have to have Nintendo Switch Online, and I would assume that in order to get expansion pack 2 later on down the line, probably a year from now, in order to get expansion pack 2, you'll have to have expansion pack 1 and Nintendo Switch Online.
Man, that would suck. Because I mean, what if people aren't really into the Super Nintendo and the NES, and then just want like the GameCube games or something? You know, that would just really kind of suck. It'd be weird that they would limit the options, but like that, you have to pay like a lot more.
Well, I mean, it's kind of just standard business stuff of like offering these, like being able to offer, say, like Genesis games. To me, that's no added value. To you, that's huge added value. And so, but like, if someone wants to get, say someone wants to get GameCube games, they have to pay for the Genesis games, even if it's like, you know, pennies as a part of their subscription. They are still paying for that and making that possible for Nintendo to continue to provide in order as like a perception of value to customers that, you know, are into that. So I don't know, but that's kind of what I think. That's kind of where I think they're going with this. This was actually the biggest announcement of the whole Direct to me. I am so hyped for this. N64 was what I considered kind of the long shot announcement. I was pretty sure it was going to be Game Boy and Game Boy Color. And I thought it was a long shot that it would be Nintendo 64, but here we are. Oh, and also as part of the expansion pack, they are making Nintendo 64 controllers and Sega Genesis controllers for the Nintendo Switch.
They will be wireless. $50 each, I think.
$50 each. That's big money for a Nintendo.
Little outrageous. Yeah. Especially the Genesis controller. I would not pay $50 for a Genesis controller.
Yeah.
Like, you're better off going getting like a $30 retro bit one, because they're going to work just as good. Just, I don't know. That's on that one for me.
I mean,
I'm going to be getting an N64 controller, like, no doubt. But
is the N64 that near and dear to your heart?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's probably one of, if not the best console of all time.
Ooh.
So
that honor goes to the GameCube.
Well, we can have this discussion another day. Right now, we're reveling
in the N64. I'm so hyped.
The N64. Because I'm super excited. I hope they have more controller colors than just gray, because that's kind of lame.
I don't think they will.
They won't. I know they won't. I'm just sad. I want my see-through orange one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the controllers are such like a niche thing of like, hey, we did this for the ultra committed to this. I doubt that they'll make a different color and run different SKUs on that. But hey, a man can dream.
We'll see. Yep. And I plan to.
Tim, why don't you hit us with a big topic? What was a big announcement that got you hyped?
I don't know if it got me hyped, but it's got everybody talking. It's the new Mario movie that's been announced for a holiday 2022.
December 21st, 2022. Yep. Mario.
We got no images. There was no trailer. It was just Miyamoto coming out and saying, "Hey, Mario movie, here you go." And here's who is in it.
Yeah,
and it's interesting.
Okay, so I'm I was rewatching certain parts of the direct after the direct, happened, and I was watching this Mario movie part with Jillian, and I just asked her, I was like, "Do you think that it's okay if I just don't watch this movie? Like, do you think it's okay to just not see this movie, even though I'm like super into video games and like, I'll tell you, there are a few ways to turn me off of a movie more than what they've already done. So,
see, I'm kind of in the opposite corner. I want to see this thing because with this cast list, which we'll be going over in a second, I don't expect anything from this movie other than just wild craziness because they're obviously not taking it seriously, which is great for Mario.
Gross bastardization of Mario is what I think it's going to be.
I expect Big Brother House Mario edition. That's what I can akin this to.
Do you want to fucking see that though? Like, is that something?
I think it'll be hilarious.
Oh my God. No, I think that this is going to be as offensive as M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender was.
Oh,
that's quite the claim.
I can see that, but I also am not mad about it.
No, Nathan, get mad about it.
I don't care about nearly as much as Last Airbender. So this would just be hilarious, and I'm down for it.
Okay, so that's funny.
Well,
that you
I
say
would
that.
be more disappointed if it was good.
I mean,
that's a fair point. It's a video game movie. They're not supposed to be good.
Yeah,
I think
I'd be more disappointed if it was actually something I was like, "Fuck, I liked really that movie. Why?"
Well, okay, so that has happened. We watched Rampage. Tim and I watched Rampage, and that movie was fucking awesome.
That movie was good. I dare say even the Sonic movie that came out
a couple years ago, Sonic was good.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
But see, we weren't I guess we were expecting that to kind of suck, but
I was expecting Sonic to absolutely blow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, it surprised me.
And they had a pretty star cast too, so I don't know. I mean, not Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Okay,
so let's get into this cast list.
Yeah, let's get the cast list out there. Let's talk about each member of the cast one by one. Chris Pratt playing Mario. How do we feel about that?
I don't get this casting. What? I don't see him as an Italian plumber. I just don't.
What's he gonna?
Him doing a
fake? How is he gonna sound?
He's gonna do a fake Italian accent the entire movie, and it's gonna be just terrible.
Yeah,
I don't. That's funny to me, but I don't get it.
So
I just don't get it.
Chris Pratt doesn't really do voice acting, does he? He's more of an on camera actor. So seeing him do this is just really out of I almost feel like they wanted him to play it and they just got him on the payroll.
It's that Nintendo money
just for the name. Yeah, it's just the name.
And I feel like they
Mario.
What? Yeah, man. Sure.
I also feel like they I feel like the Chris Pratt thing is he doesn't not only does he not do voice acting, he just doesn't do voices. Even in live action, all of his characters have just his voice, right? He doesn't.
True. Yeah.
he doesn't adjust his voice for any role. And so is Mario going to just sound like Star-Lord? If that happens, I'm going to be pissed.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna pay to see that movie.
That's so fucking stupid.
Exactly.
Like,
It's gonna make it even better.
I'll be like,
And by better, I mean worse.
No, yeah, so much worse.
I'm giving you a sneak preview here. This is what it's gonna be.
Yeah, Tim's here with his fucking Star-Lord jacket on and Cappy. And I mean that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be fucking Star-Lord wearing Cappy.
Take a screenshot of this for the people.
Yeah, actually, let's do that. Okay, hold on. There we go. Got it. This is just so radically disappointing. I don't know. Okay, moving on. Anya Taylor-Joy will be playing Princess Peach. I don't know who that is.
I don't either. Queen's Gambit. I mean, I don't have any negative feelings towards it. I feel like she'll probably do a good job, but I don't really know. I haven't seen her in anything either. I haven't seen the Queen's Gambit.
I also think that it's the least. It's the hardest role to fuck up.
True.
Of all of these, yeah, like Mario, I made you a cake. Like I could do that role. You're welcome. Okay, so quick aside, I sometimes like to go watch late night interviews on YouTube, and late night is terrible, but sometimes their interviews are pretty funny. I don't know if you guys saw Space Jam 2. It was really bad, like really bad. But Gabriel Iglesias played Fluffy. He played Speedy Gonzalez. And he tells this story on, I think it was Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. But he tells the story where he's like, yeah, it was such an honor because they called me up and they were like, hey, do you want to play Speedy Gonzalez? And I was like, are you asking me to read for Speedy Gonzalez? And they were like, no, we just want to know if you want to play Speedy Gonzalez. They just offered me the part without even reading for it. And I was so honored. And then afterwards, it occurred to me, hold up, I can do all of these voices. And he on the show, he goes in and he does the, what's up, Doc? And the Daffy Duck and the Elmer Fudd and the Porky Pig. And he's like, so I called my agent and I told him, look, just call them and tell them, add up everything they're paying all of these voice actors, cut it in half, and I'll do the whole fucking movie alone.
That's hilarious.
And yeah. But no, I feel like Peach is the hardest role to fuck up. It's the easiest role to really nail it. This is the only casting that I feel like kind of okay about. Okay. Charlie Day as Luigi. I laughed
this
my
fucking ass off at this. I was like, no, there is no way that this casting for this character ever turns out in any way but a drug-fueled Luigi.
Yeah.
That's just going to be in the corner rocking after eating some mushrooms. I find that amazing.
I love it.
For all the wrong reasons.
Nathan, please stop loving this. You're killing me here.
I'm so excited.
I'm glad Nathan's on my side.
I might hate this more than Chris Pratt as Mario.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
I think this is the only one that lines up.
I actually do have a pretty significant attachment to Luigi because when I was a kid, when I was a little kid, 0 to 5, I would play video games with my sister, right? And my sister being older she was always Mario, and I always had to play as Luigi because that's what younger siblings do. Granted, my sisters both kind of fell off of video games way earlier than I did. And so by the time the Super Nintendo was around, she really wasn't playing with me anymore. But when we were playing the NES, she was always Mario, I was Luigi. And so I kind of gained this like, oh yeah, I like Luigi. And then I got the GameCube the day it came out, and the game I chose to get with it was Luigi's Mansion. And it was the only game I had for my GameCube, and I was so determined to, like, even as everyone was hating on that game, because everyone hated that game at first, really? But as everyone was hating on that game, I was like, no, I like this game, and I'm going to finish it. And I just kind of developed this affinity for Luigi. And Luigi is such a well-defined character in my mind. Having played all three Luigi's Mansion games, he, like, you know, walking around the mansions in Dark Moon, you have a button to call out to Mario, and he's like, Mario, and like, I just don't fucking hear Charlie Day, and I hate that. I hate that choice. I'm upset. And Charlie Day is short, and Luigi is tall.
Chris Pratt is tall.
And I just
Mario
can't. Well, I like Luigi more than Mario.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it sounds like they mismatched it. Chris Pratt should have been Luigi, and Charlie Day should have been Mario.
I honestly think that would have been better.
Really? I think that would have been just as disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a dumpster
Either way
fire.
you roll it, it's not ideal.
I mean, I'm just stoked that Charlie Day is in the movie at all. I almost would have put him as Toad or something.
That would have been funny.
Like, yeah, but because I mean, yeah. Anyway, so it's all good. I'm excited about the bigger this goes down in flames, the happier I will be.
Okay.
So then you're gonna like the next casting. Then guess who Bowser is, Nathan?
Jack Black, isn't it?
It's Jack
Black. And I never thought that I would not like Jack Black cast in something. As if to prove me wrong.
Patrick, let me give you this though. Bowser comes out from behind a curtain with a guitar, and Jack Black just starts doing Tenacious D in the middle of it all.
It's the wrong voice. Bowser is like, you know, think of Bowser in Super Mario 64. Like, that's what Bowser is supposed to sound like. The like, that's what Bowser sounds like. And like, not
do that.
Not Jack Black.
He's got a lot of range. I think he could pull it off, honestly.
Yeah. I think honestly Jack Black should call up his agent and be like,
say, I'll do them all. Because I was about to say, he is the only proper voice actor on the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, no.
What, would you have preferred Josh Brolin in the role?
Maybe. I mean, Josh Brolin did a good job with Thanos.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
he has the gruffer voice. But
think of like Jack Black with, you know, his high pitched funniness, and then put that on Bowser. It's fucking wrong.
I don't think he's going to go with that style of voice for it. I really don't. I think he's going to surprise you a bit. But
I think Jack Black could nail any of the characters he's on, again, including Peach. But
we know Jack Black could nail Peach. Who wouldn't give it up to Jack Black?
That's fair. I would.
That's not what I meant, but anyway,
let's
talk about the next one.
Okay, so Jack Black. Let's see. Keegan Michael Key as Toad. To not cast Nathan in this role is criminal.
Nintendo's fucked up. The fact that Nathan is like actually here on a podcast and not beating down Nintendo's door is surprising to me.
This is an upset. I'm so mad right now.
But it's not Nathan. It's actually Toad just living in Nathan's body.
I'm inside him.
In more ways than one.
Oh, Lord.
No, just one.
I think this was the casting that got me the most, though. Like, I don't know. I don't see Keegan-Michael Key. I don't see him as Toad. I really don't.
I
see him as the guy standing in front of the class talking to AA around, and I just don't think that fits.
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent. I definitely agree with you about, like, I don't think he's the right choice. I think in fact he's a very bad choice. That being said, I think there are worse choices on this list. Those being this next one, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Holy
I lost all hope
shit.
at this point.
I think he would have been better as Bowser.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
They just
Jack Black as Donkey Kong. That could be fun. Donkey Kong is very musical.
Yes.
They really kind of screwed the pooch on this.
The thing about Donkey Kong is, like, Donkey Kong, Country 2 is my second favorite game of all time. Donkey Kong holds a very, like, near and dear place in my heart. To me, Donkey Kong there is a very particular Donkey Kong voice, and Tim will hear it the moment I say it. Donkey Kong 64. Like, that is the Donkey Kong voice. The okay. Like, that's Donkey Kong's voice. And so, like, anytime I watch the Donkey Kong cartoon, it's like, that's fucking wrong. I don't know. Just the idea of, like, the idea of Donkey Kong sounding in any other way besides, like, okay, like, don't do it. I don't know. Nathan, I know you're just excited for a disaster of a movie.
I am. I think, I don't know, man. Jack Black as Donkey Kong is a missed opportunity. He's already got experience with great apes.
Sure thing. Oh my gosh. Tim, thoughts on Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong?
I mean, I'm going to see Donkey Kong smoking a doobie at some point in this movie, so I've already just, like, gotten excited. So I'm good.
All right. Fred Armisen. Maybe more upsetting than Donkey Kong. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who Fred Armisen is.
He was on
Portlandia.
SNL. He was on Portlandia.
SNL.
Fred Armisen just...
Let's Google this bitch.
It's just like...
Wow, he looks like Discount... Oh, what's his name? Fuck.
Discount Fred Armisen?
Discount Will Forte.
Fred Armisen. No.
Okay, so to me, Fred Armisen, like, Cranky Kong... I don't know. I think the fact that I keep saying, like, oh, to me they sound this way... Discount who, Tim?
Discount Rick Moranis.
Yes, that's true. I think that the fact that I keep saying, like, oh, to me, this is how they sound, and they don't sound this way, and, like, I think that that's just indicative of the fact that, like, they should not be trying to give these characters voices. These characters have voices in our own heads. It's like when someone, like, you know, tries to do your dog's voice, and it's like, that's not how they sound. That's not how my dog sounds. and like, it's almost to the point that it's, like, offensive. It's like, don't fucking do that. That's not how she sounds.
You know what would be interesting? Now that you mention that, what if by them saying, like, Mario is talking a lot, they mean, like, talking a lot for Mario, but the whole movie is pretty much these small lines where, like, Mario's just going, like, let's go, and like, that's like 1/5 of his lines. Well, and Toad's just like, whoa!
Then why didn't they hire you? Toad, you're there.
I don't know, man. Call my agent. I'll do the whole fucking movie.
But so it's I So I thought about that. So when an actor goes into the recording booth and like, you know how Link has, when he swings his sword, it's like, ha, ha. Those are called efforts. And I thought maybe when they first announced this movie, I thought maybe they'll do it kind of in like an old fashioned style. Like maybe it'll be like very Charlie Chaplin, like slapstick humor with very, very little, like, basically limit the lines of dialogue to like what the characters say. And they'll just do efforts for these characters.
I think that'd be so cool.
I
honestly.
would love that.
That would be the best possible scenario for this, is if they did that.
I totally agree. But that's not what they're gonna do. And because they hire Chris Pratt, they hire Charlie Day, they hire Jack Black and Seth Rogen. They hire all these giant names. They're not going to bring them in to just do efforts. And they're not going to bring them in to just say, like, let's go. Like, that's not... They're going to bring them in to talk. And I hate that.
Yep.
Especially considering Charles Martinet is on the fucking cast list. And he will be doing... He's the voice of Mario.
What?
Yeah. He's been the voice of Mario for
like
years
30
now.
years. Since 64, right? So 25 years.
Yeah. Long enough.
Oh, he was in the Elder Scrolls.
And so, like...
He's in Skyrim. Mario's in Skyrim, guys.
It's just so frustrating. I don't know.
People ask, does Charles Martinet speak Italian?
I mean, yeah, he does. Have you
But ironically not much Italian. No, he speaks fluent French, English, and Spanish,
he speaks
not much Italian.
He speaks a lot of Italian. Have you ever in Mario 64, ever just waited for Mario to fall asleep and he dreams. He's like, "Oh, spaghetti." Like that's Italian.
Oh my gosh. The Super Mario Wiki says otherwise, so you know.
Meatball.
What about this representation here? Come on, where are the Italian actors?
All right,
okay. All right. Let's not get into this crap.
Yeah. Kevin Michael Richardson is Kamek. I don't know who that is. So,
yep, no idea.
I mean, but also,
I know who Kamek is, but
yeah, like I don't know who Kevin Michael Richardson is, but Kamek should not be saying anything besides. I guess that was closer to Shy Guy, but like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Unless he sounds like a mystical wizard dude, all powerful, then no, get out.
They don't have anyone cast as Shy Guy, so that's pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
Again. Just casted me.
They should have cast you as everyone. That would be, and then you just go in and you refuse to read the lines, just do the efforts, and just convince them, guys, this is going to be great. I promise.
All right. Read this line. Like, we got to go save them, Luigi.
Yeah. Why is Link in this movie?
Just only do those. Just. All right, we got to piece this together, guys, and I end up making it the best movie ever because I refused this shit.
So I mean, like, ultimately what I want this movie to be, and Tim, I know you played this game. Nathan, you might have, maybe not. But did you play Super Mario 3D World? Okay, so in Super Mario 3D World, there's a cutscene at the beginning that like kind of establishes the story of like this is what's happening in this game, and it's just Mario characters saying nothing more than they usually say, and like I just want the whole movie to be that, and that would just be so great.
Yeah, I agree. I think that.
Unfortunately, that's not what we're gonna get. It's going to be a giant train wreck, and I, for one, want to be aboard when it happens.
And you know what? Honestly, okay. Hot take, but I'm going to ride this one until I see the movie. I am going to swear by this one. Bob Hoskins is going to be a better Mario than Chris Pratt.
All right.
Okay.
That is a hill to die on, but we will see what happens, I guess.
And I'll do another one. John Leguizamo is going to be a better Luigi than Charlie Day. Until I see the movie, I am going to swear those
people
up and
from
down.
the original like horrible movie.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This movie is.
Patrick has watched that horrible movie in a long time.
It's been a few years.
Forgets how horrible it's been.
This movie is going to be worse than that movie.
I don't think it will. I really don't.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rip it when it comes out. We're on streaming. We're just gonna rip it, and then we're gonna re-edit it with just efforts.
Yes,
and it's gonna be an amazing movie.
That honestly, we should do that, and we won't even record our own efforts except you as Toad. We will just use clips from the game.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think that'd be great.
It's going to be a legitimately better movie. But okay. So that was Tim's. I guess I'm gonna throw Bayonetta 3. This game still
I thought it was
exists.
gonna be Deltarune.
Bayonetta 3 still exists. Thank fucking Christ. I haven't played Bayonetta 1 or 2, but Bayonetta 3 looks so badass.
Well, you absolutely should play both of them. I think both of them are on Switch.
They are.
Go get them.
Yeah, I've already been told that today. My coworkers were just like, "What?" I was like, sorry."
I'm excited. This looks really good. I've played both of them. I enjoyed both of them. The 2 is really good, especially for reasons that people will understand if they've played it.
Oh yeah, she's so sexy.
That's not the reason.
Oh
no, there's
great storyline and great character development. Come on,
again, not the reason. There's actually a Star Fox section in Bayo 2, which makes me love it a lot more. Yeah, and one of the missions, if you scanned the Fox amiibo, you can get the outfit for her. That is Star Fox outfit. Yep, and it changed. Yep, and it changes one of the levels from her just flying a plane to flying an R-wing instead.
Really? That's really cool. That's a nice touch.
Yep. So let me get this straight. Bayonetta is wearing Star Fox clothing, or Star Fox is wearing Bayonetta's clothing?
Both would be fun to see. I think I would rather see the second one.
I would like to see the second one. I think that'd be hilarious.
His ears are just the braids, except she doesn't have braids in that game. She only has
she has short hair in that one.
Yeah.
But
new hair again.
Yep. New hair does look nice. The braids, I thought it was a nice touch. I was like, what hairstyle are they going to go with this time?
Like
honestly, when?
Go ahead, Tim.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, the character design, and they completely redesign her with each game. She just looks so fucking cool in every single iteration of Bayonetta.
Yep. I'm going to be honest. When I first saw this trailer, I was very concerned that it wasn't Bayonetta. I honestly thought it might be more stuff from Astral Chain, to be fair.
I know. I saw that dog at the beginning, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Astral Chain 2? Like, what? Where is Bayonetta? And then it was Bayonetta. But I was, and like, honestly, when they said, this is the last trailer we have to show you this year, or right now, I was like a little bit annoyed when it was very, very obviously not Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat until Bayonetta came on the scene, and I was like, no, I'm okay with this. This is fine.
Yeah,
we've been waiting for this for years now, and now we know it's coming in 2022, right?
It's been 4 years since the game was announced. It's finally coming in 2022, and we've finally seen they did that shit where like they showed us a logo, and that was annoying, but I think that they've made up for it with this trailer by giving us both like a cinematic trailer and gameplay in the same trailer.
Yep.
So
yeah, it looks like it's finally coming together. It looks like it's going to be ready to be released in 2022.
I mean, like, I feel
We'll
very
finally be able to
confident
play it.
about playing Bayonetta 3 in 2022. I'm like mega hyped for this game. So this, to me, Bayonetta 3 was the second biggest reveal, only behind the expansion pack for Switch Online.
Yeah, it was a very welcome one. I'm super excited. I honestly wasn't expecting to see Bayonetta today, so it was definitely a good surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe because Platinum has been pretty forthcoming about like we would love to talk about Bayonetta 3, but you know,
Can't.
Yeah, it's up to Nintendo. I think they said earlier this summer they were like, we're ready to talk about Bayonetta 3. We would love to, but you know, we're not the ones who decide that.
Nope. They
So,
mentioned a few other games in that too that they wanted to port to Switch, but that's for another day.
yeah. All right. Well, anything else before we wrap things up? Was there anything else that you guys wanted to kind of touch on real quick? Anything that like jumped out at you? Splatoon 3.
I can tell you what the worst game of the Direct was, and I'm sure you'll probably agree with me on this, Patrick.
It was voice, yeah.
Voice of the Cards, the Isle of Dragon Roars.
Talk about fucking boring.
We're not. It's a card based RPG, like sort of game. I don't really know how else to explain it other than that. It's just not.
It's a deck builder.
Not for me. Yeah, it's not for me. I'll keep to my Magic the Gathering.
It's a deck builder that like it looks like they like went out of their way to make it look more boring than it. There's no way that a video game is ever that boring. So, Hyrule Warriors getting DLC. That's kind of cool.
Yep, that's the second DLC that they've announced for it. Super cool.
Yeah.
I still haven't played that, but I would still like to.
I'm in that camp.
Really I'm surprised we haven't talked about Metroid Dread at all.
I mean, what's left to say about it? We got another trailer. About it. We just more mysteries.
I feel like it's just saturated
about it. I'm just surprised we didn't bring it up when Tim's on this podcast right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a fair speculation. I feel like
I'm excited. Don't get me wrong, but like it's 2 weeks out. They've shown us pretty much everything at this point. Don't want to see any more.
Like I think that they've shown too much of this game, and which is weird because it's like, you know, on in the exact same franchise we're like begging for something from Metroid Prime 4, but like Metroid Dread, it's like, oh no, pump the brakes, guys. Like less is more right now. But it's weird that they can't really figure it out. It's either too much or not enough with Metroid. So
I don't know. I applaud Nintendo for actually putting this much attention into it.
Dread is definitely like they're putting a lot behind Dread.
They want it to sell well, and I know a lot of fans want it to sell well, because if it does, it's going to prove to Nintendo, hey, guess what? We can still make a lot of money off of games like this. Let's go ahead, make another. Let's do it.
So, okay, so question for you about that, Tim, because it definitely feels like they're treating Dread like it's their like big holiday title, right? Their big holiday release. It is the flagship of their holiday season. This being Metroid Prime 5 or Metroid 5, and them always having said like there are 5 parts to this story, and when we get to the Metroid 5, that's the end. Do you think that they would continue to make 2D Metroid games like this, or do you think that maybe they'll do like remakes in like very similar to Samus Returns? Or...
I mean, I expect them to make more new games. If this sells well and it proves to them that it does, then they'll just do it, and it'll be a different storyline, and it'll be in a different. I think thing.
I think they'll continue to make Metroid games, whether that be like Prime 4, Prime 5, or even like something similar to Other M, right? But do you think that they'll like the 2D? Well, I mean, when I say like similar to Other M, I mean like not what you typically expect from Metroid. Do you think that they'll continue to do this like 2D old school Metroid style game?
Absolutely. Like,
Interesting.
people love Metroidvanias. People who love that kind of game are always going to come back to Metroid. So
Yeah, that's fair.
I
That's a fair
I
point.
believe that they honestly will.
You know what they need to do is Federation Force 2.
Yeah, please no. Let's forget that game even existed.
Nathan, how do you feel about Metroid Dread?
I don't know. I haven't seen the thing yet. I haven't seen the trailer or anything. So
You haven't seen any of the trailers?
No, I mean I've been looking them up as we talked. Like I looked at the Kirby one. The Kirby one looked great. Looked at a couple of the other ones. But
no, I mean like Metroid Dread specifically has had like it feels like 100 trailers for that game.
This is like the third one. You're exaggerating quite a bit.
Yeah, maybe. But I feel like they've given away too much about that game.
I'll look at it right now.
Yeah.
Well, Nathan does that. We've got the Castlevania Advance Collection.
Oh, it is 2D though. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, no, it's like very 2D.
Yep.
Interesting. I definitely was expecting another like first person.
Prime 4
That's going to be
coming,
Prime 4. Yep.
but it's not.
It's around the corner.
Is it?
It's just a really long corner.
Yeah, like that is the biggest corner in the world. A 5-year corner.
I mean, they did have to restart development.
Sounds like you're just at a wall.
So.
You're just walking along a wall at this point.
Tim, I am with you. Like I used to be of that same mindset of like, I'm going to cut them some slack because they had to restart development. That was January of 2019. It's been almost 3 fucking years since they completely scrapped everything and restarted. It's like, okay, the game should like, we're at the point this in the second time they're making this game that they should be showing us trailers. They should be showing us gameplay. They should be like, this game should be out next year. And at this point, I think that Bayonetta 3 is probably going to be their big holiday release next year.
But like, let me push this on you. If they already had Metroid Dread in the works as well, do you think they'd really want to try and push both at the same time? That's why I don't think we've seen anything on it yet.
That's a good point. They're not going to overshadow Dread with Prime 4.
No, we probably will see Prime 4 like in a February Direct or a January Direct. And
okay, so do you think that Bayonetta comes in like spring or summer and we get Prime 4 next fall?
Yeah, I think Bayonetta is going to be their spring title, like April, May.
Interesting. Okay. All right, and then Castlevania Trilogy. That the Castlevania Advance games were huge. People loved those games.
Yep, just another Metroidvania kind of game.
Yeah,
all of them are supposed to be really good. I've only played a couple of them, but yeah, kind of exciting.
Splatoon 3.
Splatoon 3, yeah, more gameplay.
I know you were really into Splatoon 2, which it seems like they're adding everything to Splatoon 3 that people were upset that they didn't add to Splatoon 2. Like, I remember when Splatoon 2 came out and everyone was like, oh, this feels like Splatoon 1.5. And kind of rightfully so, right? Because it was like, yeah, I guess it's like new maps and new weapons, but it's the same game on Switch instead of Wii U. But like Splatoon 3, they're adding like a full-on single-player mode, which is cool.
That was in the second one as well, and there was one in the first one as well.
It was DLC in the second one, right? Like the the girls, right?
Yeah. But there was also like a first player mode kind of thing. But
okay.
It wasn't as fleshed out.
Right.
Yeah, it looks exciting. I like a couple of the new abilities. Like your spider squid is going to be a thing, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it just looks like more Splatoon, and that's great for huge Splatoon fans because, yeah, I mean, more of the same is good in this sense because it's always been a fun game for me, at least.
Yeah.
The only problem I have, didn't get to see my main waifu Marina in the trailer, or if she was there, I missed her.
Well, she's still in that city, and this one takes place in a different setting. Okay. So actually, I guess before we go, what's that, Nathan?
What are you gonna do, Tim?
that died. I don't know. I'll have to
well,
find a new waifu to jacket to.
No, there's this website called rule34.com.
You mean my homepage?
So before we wrap things up, I do want to. There are two games that I want to touch on, because Tim and I were kind of talking about this before we started recording. Chocobo Grand Prix and Hot Wheels are both coming to Switch. Why? Like, if you're making a kart racer and you're putting it on Switch, where Mario Kart 8 Deluxe exists, what do you hope to accomplish? Nathan,
you bury that motherfucker with a shovel after you've hit it over the head 1,000 times, and it still won't die.
Yeah.
No, it's like you're kind of signing your own death warrant there.
It just seems like a futile effort. It just seems like such a waste of money. Especially
but at the same time,
Chocobo Grand Prix, at least Hot Wheels has the good sense to show up on Xbox and PlayStation and PC, whereas like Chocobo Grand Prix is exclusive to the Switch.
But at the same time, like, they're trying to bring something different to the table, and it gives me more of a Diddy Kong Racing feel than it does a Mario Kart feel, which might actually intrigue a lot of people, considering how loved Diddy Kong Racing was.
Yeah. I mean, like,
and you also got to think, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out ages ago. I don't have
5 years
when
ago.
it actually came. 5 years ago.
4.5. Yeah, 4.5 years ago.
Like, and I've mentioned this, almost anyone who already owns a Switch probably owns Mario. Anyone who's buying a Switch is going to be buying it. But anyone who already owns one and has played a bunch of Mario Kart 8, if they're looking for a new kart fix, this might be it for them, at least until the next Mario Kart comes out.
Yeah, so what you're saying is, like, maybe people have had their fill of Mario, like, because maybe the existing copies of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which, I mean, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe continues to be in the top 10 NPD bestsellers every single month. Like, that game is just not losing steam at all. But like, people who have played their fill and then they see a new kart racer and they're like, oh, maybe you're saying that's the market of, like, you know,
yeah, I think
will
that's
be
where they're
people's
aimed at.
second pick.
Yep. When they've had enough of Mario Kart, it's like, all right, I'll take this Final Fantasy based kart racer. This looks all right. Reminds me of Diddy Kong Racing. I'll throw my hand in the ring for a little bit on it, and there you go. That's your market.
Nathan,
I literally, like, I just looked it up, the trailer, and I was like, wow, this just looks like Mario Kart. Like, literally, it just looks like Mario Kart. Like, even some of the same animations, like with the thing showing up above your cart and, like, tracking you as it does something to you. Like, it literally looks like just the same game, just reskinned with Final Fantasy. So I don't know. That's kind of weird, but like, I don't understand as well. But I could see, like, okay. I mean, I personally am kind of sick of Mario Kart 8, but I think that it would take a lot of hunger to get this in lieu of whatever the next Mario Kart's going to be, personally. But
I think Tim might be right about, like, them kind of trying to play sloppy seconds and pick up the people that are still hungry for it. But I also I do agree with you, Nathan, that, like, I don't think a significant portion of the market is that hungry that they're gonna for more kart racing experience, that they've played all the way through all of Mario Kart 8 and then they're wanting to, like, they're so hungry that they're gonna go buy Chocobo Grand Prix instead of just playing more Mario Kart 8.
Yeah. Or, like, maybe this is just tiding us over until the GameCube Mario Karts come about.
Double Dash?
Yeah, Double Dash, or like Mario Kart 64.
Mario Kart 64 is coming. I don't know, but
it's a weird one. I mean, you're gonna get some people who buy it regardless because they're Final Fantasy fans.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And you know what? I am going to be keeping an eye on the sales numbers for it. I'm very, very curious about how this game is going to sell. I think that the fact that they're Switch exclusive, they're kind of all in on this idea. Whereas, like I mentioned, like Hot Wheels being multi-platform is like they're kind of trying to spread the wealth a little bit, and they're not put all their eggs in one basket. But so I don't expect Hot Wheels to sell very well on Switch, but I will watch Chocobo Grand Prix with great interest. So, all right, well, it's time for the weekly trivia challenge.
I'm not going to talk about Disney. All right. I see where this podcast is heading.
We are not going to talk
didn't
about
even see
Disney
it on.
Magical 2.
It's not even in the notes.
It might be the one.
It is.
Oh, it's in there? Good.
Is it?
It's a one-line note. It's coming this holiday. Nobody cares.
It looked so dumb. I just blew right past it.
Oh, no. No, I see Deltarune.
Deltarune also
I
looked
don't-
pretty lame.
Letter K on the list.
Oh, you obviously haven't played Undertale, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I see it.
Okay.
Undertale is beautiful.
All right. Trivia challenge. We all know the best-selling home console is the PlayStation 2 with a whopping 155 million units sold. But the lesser-known fact is which home console holds the silver medal in that category. Which of these consoles is the second best-selling home console of all time? Is it A, the Nintendo Switch, B, the PlayStation 4, C, the Nintendo Wii, or D, the Nintendo Wii U?
I'm going to go with C,
Say-
final answer.
Is that the Wii?
That
Yeah.
is the Wii.
That's what I would also say.
So you guys are both going C.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tim, final answer.
Yes.
Nathan, final answer.
Probably.
We're going to take that as a yes. No points this week. The PlayStation
Oh.
4 surpassed the Wii
Ah.
by actually a pretty wide margin. The PlayStation 4 sold 115.
When did it do this?
A few
Yes.
years ago. The PlayStation
Huh.
4 sold 115 million units. The Wii sold like 101 million units. So
Okay.
I definitely thought that that you would go that way, Tim, because honestly, that's what I would have guessed too. The Wii was an absolute
I didn't
phenomenon.
know the PlayStation 4 passed it.
The PlayStation 4
That's right,
was
the-
like
The original
unstoppable.
PlayStation was more than it anyways, because that's still doing that.
But also the Wii U was a contender.
Yeah.
You know, like 13 million units worldwide.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man.
Big deal.
Some people played it.
Fun fact about sales: the Switch is currently on trajectory to outpace both the Wii, the PlayStation, and the PlayStation 4. So
That's yeah. I think PS4 was second answer, and Switch was going to be the next one for me.
yeah, I mean, as it stands right now,
I mean, if we're
it's
talking about home
PlayStation
consoles.
4. Right. As it stands right now, it's PlayStation 4, Wii, Switch, but the Switch is very close to overtaking the Wii, and then and it's not really showing any signs of slowing down.
I don't know. From what I'm seeing here, the original PlayStation sold more than the Wii at 102 million units.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I was saying like as it stands for those three that were the options. Yeah. But yeah, so that's all we have for you guys tonight. If you liked what you heard, make sure you comment and leave us a rating and review or subscribe, leave us a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you found us on. We'll be back next week talking about everything that happens in the next 7 days. You can see everything we do all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. Until next week, reset.
Reset.
Nathan, that was the saddest reset of all time. Reset! I kind of want you to just do it as Toad from now on.
He also sent me that picture.